Doctors have been warning about this for years, but most people still don't know. What if I told you that 3 of the most common vitamins, yes, the very ones you might be taking right now to stay healthy, could actually destroy your nerves once you hit 60? What if the same supplements you trust to protect your body are quietly making you weaker, foggier, and even more vulnerable with each passing day? In this video, you'll find out exactly which 3 vitamins you need to stop immediately after 60, and why continuing them could backfire in ways you never imagined. If you're taking these daily without even questioning them, don't miss this. Because by the end of this video, you'll not only know which ones to avoid, but you'll also finally understand how to choose vitamins that actually protect your brain and body as you age. Could your daily supplement be increasing your risk of neuropathy, or even setting the stage for accelerated cognitive decline? Stay with me. And if you're serious about taking control of your health and avoiding mistakes that could cost you years of your life, hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss out on videos that can truly transform your health. Let's start with a strange but true fact. After the age of 60, your body doesn't absorb nutrients the same way it used to. That's not speculation. That's a physiological change. Your stomach acid production drops, enzymes get sluggish, and your cells become less responsive to the signals they use to follow effortlessly. This doesn't mean your body gives up. It just means it plays by a new rule book. But the scary part is, most people don't update their habits. They keep taking the same doses, the same brands, and assuming that more is better. But when it comes to certain vitamins, more can be a disaster. Let's say you're taking vitamin B6. Seems innocent, right? It's in almost every multivitamin. It's water-soluble, so we've always been told it's safe. But did you know that too much vitamin B6, especially the synthetic form found in cheap supplements, can literally damage your nerves? Not in some vague, theoretical way. I'm talking about burning, tingling, numbness in your hands and feet, the kind of symptoms that mimic diabetic neuropathy, even if you've never had blood sugar issues. And the craziest part? The damage can happen gradually, so you don't even realize it's from your vitamins. That's why this problem is so dangerous. Studies have shown that chronic intake of vitamin B6 above 100 milligrams per day can lead to severe sensory nerve damage. And guess what? Many over-the-counter supplements, especially megadose formulas, go well beyond that. Here's the twist that most people don't see coming. Once nerve damage sets in, it's not always reversible. You can stop the supplement, but that doesn't guarantee your nerves will bounce back. That's why prevention is everything. Now, this leads to a bigger question. Why would something we're told is essential become harmful later in life? It's all about the difference between deficiency and toxicity, and how your body's ability to process nutrients changes with age. When you're younger, your liver and kidneys are working at full capacity. They process excesses, regulate absorption, and protect you from overdoses. But past 60, your metabolic rate slows. Your detox pathways are less efficient, and your margins for safety shrink. So even normal doses can accumulate, but B6 is just the beginning. What about vitamin A? Sounds healthy. Essential for vision, skin, immune function. You've probably heard it helps fight infections and boosts eye health. And all of that is true in the right amount. But in older adults, especially those over 60, taking vitamin A in high doses, particularly in the form of retinol, can become downright dangerous. Why? Because it's fat-soluble. Unlike B vitamins, which are flushed out in urine, vitamin A gets stored in your liver, and over time, with repeated intake, it builds up. Too much stored vitamin A can become toxic. It can lead to liver stress, increased intracranial pressure, osteoporosis, and even interfere with vitamin D. But one of the more surprising effects? It can also contribute to neurodegeneration. That's right. Some studies have linked excessive vitamin A levels to increased risk of cognitive decline. And think about this. Many multivitamins aimed at seniors still contain vitamin A as retinol, not beta-carotene. And even though the label might say it's within safe limits, if you're getting vitamin A from multiple sources, your food, your supplements, maybe even a fortified breakfast cereal, it adds up fast. You see how tricky this gets? You think you're doing the right thing. You're taking your daily essentials, but your body isn't responding the same way anymore. That's not failure. That's biology. And now let's talk about the third vitamin on the danger list. This one's the most unexpected. Vitamin E. Shocked? Most people are, because we've been told for decades that vitamin E is an antioxidant, right? something that protects your cells from oxidative stress, supports your immune system, and even slows aging. But here's what the newer research is starting to uncover. High-dose vitamin E supplementation, especially in isolated alpha-tocopherol form, can increase the risk of all-cause mortality in older adults. That's right, higher death rates. It can also interfere with vitamin K, increasing the risk of bleeding, and in certain cases it's been linked to higher risk of prostate cancer. But what's especially troubling is how vitamin E interacts with the nervous system. You see, in small, balanced amounts from food sources like nuts, seeds, and leafy greens, it's a fantastic nutrient. But when isolated in large doses, the body processes it very differently. Instead of protecting neurons, it can actually increase lipid peroxidation, damaging the fatty layers that surround and insulate your nerves. This means that the very supplement you're taking to protect your brain could be accelerating the wear and tear on your nervous system. And here's a question you need to ask yourself right now. Have you ever checked the form and dosage of the vitamin E you're taking? Most people don't. They just see vitamin E on the label and assume it's safe. But the difference between natural mixed tocopherols and synthetic DL-alpha tocopherol is massive. One supports balance. The other can throw your body's antioxidant systems into chaos. Now pause for a second. Think about this. You may be trying to support your health, your memory, your strength. You want to stay independent, stay sharp, enjoy your grandkids, maybe even travel a little in your golden years. But if you're unknowingly taking the wrong version or the wrong dose of these vitamins, you could be sabotaging those very goals. So what can you do instead? This is where most people get overwhelmed, and it's completely understandable. One expert says, take this. Another says, avoid it. The labels don't explain anything, and your doctor may not have the time to dive deep into each supplement you're using. That's why it's so important to understand how to supplement wisely. You need to know not just what you're taking, but why, how much, and in what form. That means if you're over 60, stop assuming your body can handle the same multivitamin cocktail it did when you were 30. Start looking at your supplements like medications, because they can be just as powerful. And if you've been dealing with unexplained tingling, fatigue, balance issues, or forgetfulness, it's time to question whether your supplements could be playing a role. If you're over 50 and your joints ache when you get out of bed, go upstairs or just try to enjoy a walk. It's not your age and it's not your fault. The real issue? Your body's running out of a natural substance that cushions your joints like a shock absorber. And most supplements out there, glucosamine, collagen, all of it, don't fix this. But now, researchers have discovered a breakthrough that can actually restore what your joints are missing. And people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are seeing real relief. If you're feeling stiff, sore, or weaker lately, stop guessing. Check the link in the pinned comment now. Understanding which vitamins to avoid after 60 is just the beginning. The real power lies in learning how to replace them with nutrients that actually protect your nervous system, enhance your longevity, and match what your aging body really needs. And that starts with this: shifting your mindset from more is better to targeted is safer. We live in a culture obsessed with megadoses. Double the vitamin D, triple the C, throw in some extra B12 for good measure. But your body doesn't work that way, especially not after 60. It works smarter, not harder. What you need now isn't quantity, it's precision. Because the wrong vitamin in the wrong dose doesn't just waste your money. It can create silent damage that creeps up on you year after year. So let's flip the script. Let's talk about what your body actually wants more of after 60, and how you can nourish your nerves instead of unknowingly harming them. First, if you're avoiding high doses of vitamin B6, A, and E, what do you need instead? One of the biggest allies for nerve health as you age is vitamin B12. But, and here's where most people get it wrong, not just any B12. You want methylcobalamin, the bioactive form. Why? Because your ability to convert synthetic forms like cyanocobalamin decreases with age. That means even if you're taking a normal B12 supplement, it might never get absorbed, let alone used. And B12 deficiency is one of the most overlooked causes of neuropathy, brain fog, and fatigue in seniors. The symptoms often mimic dementia, but unlike Alzheimer's, this kind of cognitive decline is reversible if you catch it in time. That's why doctors recommend checking your B12 levels regularly, especially if you're vegetarian, on acid-blocking medications, or have digestive issues that reduce absorption. Another overlooked key nutrient? Omega-3 fatty acids, not the kind from seed oils or processed foods, but from clean, high-quality sources like wild-caught fish or purified fish oil supplements. Your nerves are wrapped in a fatty substance called myelin. That's the insulation that lets signals travel quickly and clearly. Without enough omega-3s, especially DHA, your myelin begins to break down, and nerve communication slows. That's when you start feeling clumsy, forgetful, and fatigued. But here's something few people realize. Omega-3s don't work in isolation. They need support. They need a balance with other nutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, and choline, another superstar when it comes to brain and nerve function. Choline helps build acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that keeps your memory sharp and your muscles coordinated. Yet most people over 60 are severely deficient in it. And that brings up a crucial point. The problem isn't always what you're taking, it's also what you're missing. Think about this. When your supplement cabinet is loaded with high doses of synthetic B6, vitamin A and E, not only are you possibly hurting your nerves, you're also crowding out the space for the nutrients that could actually protect them. It's like trying to water a garden with the wrong hose attachment. You're using the wrong tool, spraying the wrong areas, and wondering why nothing is blooming. But once you switch to the right nozzle, the nutrients your body can actually absorb and use, everything starts to thrive. That's the shift we're talking about. Instead of guessing, instead of blindly trusting labels, start choosing nutrients that your body actually needs at this stage of life. And not just because they're popular or recommended, but because they're supported by real science and matched to the changes happening inside you. Now let me ask you this. Have you had a full nutrient panel run in the past year? Do you know your B12, D3, magnesium, and homocysteine levels? Most people haven't even heard of homocysteine. But elevated levels are a huge red flag for nerve damage and cardiovascular risk. And what raises homocysteine? A lack of methylated B vitamins like folate and B12, the very forms your body becomes less efficient at using as you age. You see the pattern here? It's all connected. Your vitamins affect your nerves affect your mobility, your brain, your energy, your independence. This isn't just about feeling good, it's about protecting your freedom. The ability to walk confidently, to remember names, to laugh with friends without wondering if your mind is slipping. And here's where most people miss the mark. They assume that if something is sold over the counter, it must be safe. But that's not how the body works. Your biology doesn't care where the vitamin came from. It only cares how it's processed inside you. And after 60, that process changes dramatically. Your kidneys filter slower, your liver metabolizes differently, your gut doesn't absorb like it used to. That's why you can't keep treating your body like it's 30. You need to adapt. You need to listen, because the truth is, your body is always talking to you. The tingling in your fingers, the forgetfulness, the sudden clumsiness or balance issues. They're not just normal aging. They might be messages, warnings, and the sooner you decode them, the better chance you have at turning things around. So let's recap what this all means for you. If you're over 60, stop taking megadoses of vitamin B6, synthetic retinol vitamin A, and high-dose alpha-tocopherol vitamin E, especially if they're not monitored by a doctor. These nutrients in excess can silently damage your nerves, your liver, and your brain. Instead, focus on what your body is really asking for: bioavailable B12, choline, omega-3s, vitamin D3 with K2, magnesium glycinate, and clean, nutrient-dense food. And most of all, context. Because even the best vitamin can become harmful if it's taken without understanding. But now you do understand. You've just gained something that millions of people never get: the ability to ask better questions, to read a label and know what matters, to have a conversation with your doctor and actually lead it. And maybe that's the most powerful thing of all. Not the vitamins themselves, but the knowledge that helps you use them wisely. If this gave you clarity and you want to keep learning how to protect your health, extend your life, and avoid dangerous mistakes most people never hear about, go ahead and watch the video on your screen now. It dives even deeper into how everyday habits silently shape your brain and your future. You won't want to miss it.